When German women prisoners of war were first brought to American-run camps in the final months of World War II, many of them were exhausted, malnourished, and filled with fear, having survived years of totalitarian control, forced labor, and a relentless diet of wartime scarcity. And as they were ushered into the camp mess hall, they could not have imagined that one of the most unforgettable moments of their captivity would come from something as simple as a grilled cheese sandwich. Conditioned by Nazi propaganda to expect cruelty, humiliation, and starvation at the hands of the Americans, the women were initially hesitant to approach the serving tables, their hands trembling and stomachs rumbling from weeks of rationing. Yet what awaited them was a hot, freshly prepared sandwich, bread golden and crisp on the outside, cheese melting between the slices. A smell so rich and inviting that it seemed almost unreal to people who had been accustomed to watery soup, black bread, or ersatz rations for months. And as trays were handed down the line, the first women to bite into the sandwiches paused, unsure whether to eat immediately or inspect for some hidden trick, because the idea that the enemy would feed them with care and generosity seemed impossible. As the warm, gooey cheese met their lips, reactions ranged from stunned silence to tearful laughter, with some women admitting later that it was the first time in years they had tasted comfort, flavor, and nourishment in a single bite, and the simple act of eating a grilled cheese sandwich became more than a meal. It was a revelation, a quiet but undeniable proof that the Americans were not monsters, but human beings capable of kindness, patience, and hospitality. Camp personnel watched in quiet satisfaction as the women slowly, almost reverently, finished their sandwiches, the lines of fear and suspicion on their faces softening with each bite, and soon conversations began to emerge, hesitant at first, about families, lost homes, and the absurdity of war, all while chewing on what had seemed like a trivial food item, but carried enormous symbolic weight. In the days and weeks that followed, grilled cheese sandwiches became a small but recurring ritual, and their effects went beyond nutrition, offering psychological relief, restoring morale, and breaking down years of indoctrinated fear, as women began to trust not only the soldiers who served them, but the system of care that ensured they were fed, clothed, and protected despite being enemy prisoners. Historians note that food often serves as a powerful instrument in shaping human perception, and in the case of these German POW women, the grilled cheese sandwich functioned as an unexpected bridge between two worlds, highlighting how simple acts of nourishment can humanize relationships even amidst the horrors of war, proving that compassion need not be grandiose to be transformative. Interviews conducted decades later reveal that many women remembered the sandwiches more vividly than interrogations, roll calls, or marches, because for the first time in months or years, they experienced something resembling normalcy, warmth, and dignity. And in that small, gooey, golden brown bite, they tasted not only cheese and bread, but hope, security, and a fleeting sense of peace. The footage and testimonies together capture a moment that seems almost surreal. Enemy soldiers and prisoners sharing the same tables, the clatter of trays, and the murmur of conversation replacing the fear and tension of combat. And for those who lived through it, the grilled cheese sandwich was a tangible symbol that humanity could exist, even amid the destruction of global conflict, reminding viewers today that in war, the smallest gestures of care can leave the deepest impressions, and that sometimes the most extraordinary acts of compassion are expressed not through weapons or strategy, but through a simple meal shared with empathy, dignity, and an open hand, a lesson carried by the memories of German women POWs who, stunned by the taste of their first American grilled cheese sandwich, discovered in that modest food item a profound reminder that kindness can cross even the widest divides, soften the hardest hearts, and endure long after the guns have fallen silent.